So hi everyone, today in this video we're going to develop another mental model that can be useful for you, since mental models are representations about all the reality world. And as much more you grasp them, higher is so the probability of you getting what you want. That is obviously so prosperity. But to get prosperity you need to take the right actions in the context that you are. And for that you require to have interpretation, you require to have information about how the reality works. And it's something that's not kind of easy to take in terms of getting in a level that you still can get the prosperity, because we have seen people studying along in whole type of studies that they can do in economics, psychology, that you shouldn't kind of rely just in the experience that the life can provide to you. You can absorb it by yourself, what other ones have studied, what other ones have experienced. It's always so something that we do like more. It's so getting the knowledge that other ones have already built, have already experienced. So obviously what's important to get today is an economic mental model called the Luddite Fallacy. And that specific one is really important in nowadays world, and it talks why technology doesn't destroy jobs long term. So it's what we're gonna try to develop and explain why this happens. Obviously it was a pattern that we have seen because we already have been exposed to technologies and their emergency more than just one century, and obviously so we already have a spectrum to see how emergence of technology over the time or so were the result in the creation of jobs in a certain future after the technology has emerged. But then so we're going to try to understand the hype of the cycle that comes with technology, and then so how it really generates the results in long term. So what's the core idea of the Luddite fallacy? It debunks the myth that technological advancements like automation or artificial intelligence lead to permanent unemployment. And this was named after this in the 19th century textile workers who smashed machines, the Luddites. These models so explain why innovation displaces jobs in the short term but creates new opportunities in the long run, often in ways we can't yet so imagine. But then so now that we have understood, we should try so to understand how it works. So first, that's important economic mental model that happens a lot: the creative destruction. Technology destroys outdated industries but spawns new ones. It's like the creative destruction initially, it was more for like the business that they have like old products and they kind of create new ones. Then in reality will make so that old ones get so in terms of rate, so with it gets in a faster rate to not being produced so much more, because I will understand that me by putting new competition, that is new type of produce that I produce, it will so still consumers that go for my whole outdated type of products, making them so getting destroyed. So not gonna bet, not we are not gonna bet nothing of my money on them to so make it remain existing. I'm gonna so put it in the new things that are so the creation, the new creation, but obviously I'm gonna bet in them because they're not outdated as the whole ones. And that's something that's useful. It's useful in nature. It's like the natural law of the people are born, the people grow, the people get elder, they so will get eventually destroyed by so the death, and then will come new people, because it's obviously as a population is always so good to have a good amount of people in young than just having a bunch of elder people that obviously doesn't contribute that much as in their peak. That's the natural. That happens. It's like a pattern that you see in whatever is the field that you look. I talk about life, but you can apply in jobs. It's always good. So to in business as well, we have like the growth of the business, the mature and the decline, because some new ones are more adapted to the environment. It's something that's normal, and that's positive. It's something that we have to understand as positive. We have to accept this type of changes. And then so obviously the creative destruction is one of the things that makes good accept that we don't have to stuck with the same jobs for the time, because it's technology that appears to make our lives better. Technology is like a certain way to do something, And obviously, the new technologies are new ways to do something or better ways to do something that I'm trying to achieve and I already know right now. So obviously, can be incremental, can be disruptive, but always with the sense of making your life better. So you have to accept it. It's something that you have to do. So what could be example of a creative destruction in that examples of technology will be when the cars killed the horse carriage jobs but created millions in auto manufacturing. See, it's more of a replace. So I will say that this mental model, it takes that the number, if we see quantitative, it doesn't change that much. It holds gonna have space for you. What you're gonna understand is the type that's gonna change because obviously the world works with comparative advantages. The people, the owners, all want to use the capital, human capital, for where they're more useful. And obviously this changes depending of what so are the evolutions in the technology. In the example this, the people that work in the worst case jobs, they just were kind of probably replaced and they have to learn but to enter in a new type of profession that it just exists and still has demand and still provides money for the people. What people has to do? Adaptability. That's why I'm one of the huge defenders that you should be more adaptable than just sticking in learning everything that you can and expect this will be enough for your life. No, be more adaptable, flexible. It's easier today to learn. So it's the type of mindset that you should more have, more plasticity. So creative distortion is one of the things that so creates the technology to destroy jobs, but as well explains that with that it opens space to new ones to exist. Productivity gains, automation lowers costs, boosts efficiency, and increases demand for complementary goods and services. The example is like the ATMs reduced bank teller jobs, but expanded banking service, creating roles in IT and customer support. So we always gonna have the substitution. It's not like something that we cut away and so we don't create more jobs. The majority of the times we have so the creation of new ones in new forms, but they exist still, but in different type of functions. But in quantity, they still exist a lot, and people so can still work in that, so can have like revenue type of sources. And human adaptability, as I defend, workers shift to higher value tasks that machines can't replicate, like creativity, empathy, problem solving. That's where we're better than everyone of other animals, for example. So the machines, what are the machines? Machines is like people or things that works with data, they learn patterns and they so do and create outputs, but they don't have the creativity, they don't have the empathy that we have. At least still not, but it's still, if they develop, just we have still to wait a lot of time because it's more complex. Because what the A's do now, they work with that things that already exist, and obviously so they have their algorithms. They obviously has some variance, it's not always the same way, but works a lot with inputs that they already get. They have so algorithms way to treat it that are so what a bit it's not something that much creativity, they have to be trained. So you still have a place in that world, so don't feel that much of negative about what could be the future. It's something that you have to accept, as well as that have happened always in history, is the allocation of capital where is more productive, and in case of the human ones, they will be allocated for what will be better. That is mainly in creativity, empathy, jobs. That problem solving is a bit more complex than just what so EA does. There's more automation, just more repetitive tasks that what humans we're not good at in comparison with a machine. What are the real world examples? We have the Industrial Revolution, the textile automation displaced weavers but created factory jobs, engineering rules and and global trade networks. Digital revolution, the internet destroyed print media but birthed digital marketing, app development, and content creation like the YouTubers and influencers. We have the EA and robotics, so the self-checkout kiosks reduced cashier jobs but increased demand for hay runners, maintenance techs, and UX designers, and agriculture as well. So the tractors eliminated 90% of farming jobs since the initial of the last century, but freed labor for industries like healthcare, education, tech. It's just allocation of capital for where is more productive, and it's something that holds better. It means that the world is producing more for each unity of effort that you put. And that's like the main type of objective as the economy. What do you want? Everyone's getting their own goods at lower cost as possible to produce it. And then so obviously we're gonna always have to look the mindset of the efficiency, and then so this requires adaptation, because what is efficient and where you're more efficient, it's something that it depends over and over the time, so goes on. So I think everyone understands why it matters. The fear versus reality. The reality is that 47% of jobs today didn't exist in less than like the alpha century. So if you go back for the 80s, almost half of the jobs that exist today, they wouldn't exist. Everyone didn't know. But this didn't mean that the people that saw the quantity of jobs have decreased that much. We still have a lot of demand for workers today, even with all the tech revolution that has happened. So see all the people that have feared in the past, now see what has really happened in reality. And so their type of fear that they could try to understand and they could have got in reality is not justified. Economic growth is still happen. The technology drives GDP growth, raising living standards, like the global poverty fell from 36% in the 90s to 86% today. And skill gaps, the real threat isn't job loss, it's the mismatch between old skills and new opportunities. So you should be fear more if you not have the ability to learn, not that it doesn't gonna exist jobs for everyone. What you have to understand is that you're gonna have to get this ability to shift, to learn new things. So the solutions is be a lifelong learning. So governments and companies must fund reskilling, universal basic services, providing affordable education, healthcare, and housing to ease the transitions, and embrace hybrid rules, blend human and machine skills, like doctors using AI diagnostics artists with digital tools. So basically, be a lifelong learning. Understand that with this evolution, we're probably going to have that even more your basic needs will be satisfied at and even requiring less you to pay it, because technology will do things and they do it and don't require money so to the job. So it's basically having free capital working for you, and also we don't require that much of the people clients that are the population so to satisfy. So a lot of the jobs, a lot of the works probably so will be replaced with technologies that still will make it for the consumer cheaper. And then so probably in these shifts in your life, you're also going to have guaranteed the basic needs that are like education, healthcare, and other type of stuffs. So I think you should be more positive than negative. I expect these videos make you like this channel, to put a like if you so have liked the video, and see other videos that may trigger your interest. Without much more to say, just thank you and see you in the next one.